Welcome back. We are on Equal Time Soccer. I am Mark Pavrotsky. I'm joined by Matt Pavrotsky, and today a special guest, Nicole Singleton, the Director of Communications and Creative Services. I like that title at the WPSL. Nicole, thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, we're here to hype up one of the games of the week, WPSL Northern Conference. Essentially a playoff decider. There could be some other implications, but we have Sioux Falls City and last year's runner-up, national runner-up, Salvo SC playing today. One thing I wanted your perspective on, Nicole, because you've been in the league a lot. Salvo's a team has as much, high-level talent as any team in Minnesota or in our area, and their talent shows on the field. They make some funny content sometimes too. Sioux Falls is a team that shows on the field, but also they've been a franchise of the year. They do a lot of things off the field. They're trying to become a professional operation. Talk about the varying types of teams that find their path in the WPSL.
Yeah, it's really awesome to watch how teams progress each season. I remember Sioux Falls joining the league and getting their press release ready and, launching them into the league, and then now seeing them, 3 years later where they're at. It's just always awesome to see, like, their vision come to life on the WPSL platform. And so, yeah, it's just super. And it's different with being such a large league from coast to coast. We're all on the same mission per se, highlighting the players we've got on the field, but each team has their own creative vision on how they make that work within their community. And that's one of my favorite things to watch about the seasons each year.
Mm-hmm. And for people who are tuning in, obviously most of the folks probably have some interest in the race, but in terms of the standings, it's tight. Salvo are sitting on 24 points. This is their last game. Sioux Falls City on 21. They have 2 games left. So that's why I say likely a decider, but if things got messy in the next game, who knows? But my bet would be on whoever wins this or whoever gets a draw. Sioux Falls City would still have to do a lot in the next game. Talk about, there's been so many teams in the central region doing well. I looked at the power rankings. I like that the league puts this stuff together because it does make it easier to follow when we follow so many teams. But there's a lot of teams in the middle of the country doing well. Do you see any rhyme or reason to that? Or is it just kind of like a good year for us up here?
When I saw the rankings come out before we released them, I was like, man, look at the Central region. They have just gotten like on fire this latter half of the season. Mm-hmm. I honestly, I don't really know why or, what the trend is there. But I think it's the teams kind of getting into their groove, playing. We're in the latter half. So, the players kind of found that rhythm with each other on the field. And I kind of think that's why we're seeing the performances and the results that we have been lately.
Can it be revealed who votes on the power rankings? Because I don't know how these things go down. Who are the power makers who pick these things?
Yeah, it's actually no voting. It's all analytical data that we put in from the score lines that come in. So at the end of each week, I'll connect our scores from that week and submit them to the rankings for the data, and the algorithm populates it. They know like the away, if it's an away win, strength of opponent, number of goals scored. So it takes the human aspect out of it, which I think is really awesome because it's just whatever happens on the field, and that's the results you get.
Okay, so we don't have to feel left out for not getting to vote, Matt. No, I would hate to have to, honestly, that'd be a lot of pressure. I'd have to really watch a lot of games. Yeah.
I would be way too stressed to vote in something like that.
But no, playoffs nationally begin soon, right? So like locally, I know we would have the first game starting like July 13th and 14th. It goes from there. It's such a fast-paced thing. Just talk about seeing, like I said, the different type of teams you have. You still have teams who are reserved set for NWSL, and then once it gets to playoffs, it really comes to where you get everyone best from coast to coast. How much fun is it for you, or like how does things change you got a lot of people planning to come to Oklahoma probably, so you have to start planning the actual finals. How does a playoff run change for you, Nicole? What does your life turn into?
Yeah, it's always crazy because you think about it, we're a league of almost 150 teams for a good 8 weeks of the season, and then we drop down to 16.
Yeah.
And that's when like the playoff push just, ramps up and gets into gear. And it's 2 weekends. So we've got all the regional playoffs on that weekend of the 13th and 14th. And then the weekend after, everyone comes to Oklahoma State University, and we have our quote unquote Final Four of the championship series. So it's really, in this season particularly, I've seen the conferences across the board be more tight up top than we have than I recall in seasons before that. So that's why I can't really predict what's going to come ahead for this playoff push as we enter the last of the regular season and into those few conference games we have. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see who our 16 teams are to move forward to the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
Oh, the playoff stuff also, it gets so tight with these summer leagues too, where it's the roster mixes start to narrow too, and so you start to see different mixes of folks, even which teams travel whom and whatever, and so the player mixes also get interesting. So like you said, not only is it unpredictable in general, it gets even less predictable just because teams have all their different circumstances, whether players have to report or players have different conflicts and stuff. So the summer league playoff season always gets full chaos for sure. Typically we'll see that first matchup of, the Northern Conference team typically goes and plays someone, in the past it's been like a Milwaukee Torrent or a team like that where it's more local. And then like you said, Nicole, then all of a sudden it gets very not local. And I remember like Salvo going to play, in Colorado or something like that. So it broadens really quickly after having like a fairly local vibe for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll get in. So we got the starting lineup coming up. I want to ask, before we have to have the game commentary that we have to fit in, I want to ask you quickly, Nicole. You're just a straight up peer of ours. You've been a soccer journalist. I'm stretching us up to match you, but you are someone who has just written about the game, right? In a lot of different ways. Like you do a lot more management and kind of probably edit. I'm guessing being an editor type of management now, maybe. But you have a lot of experience yourself. Just talk about your experience, like being a journalist in the game, and you've done more journalism than just that, I'm sure. But
yeah, for sure. My start into the soccer journalism, coming off of being a player, was actually writing about the Nashville Rhythm for Our Game magazine out in California, and that was my first introduction to the WPSL. And then I did some freelance work with the league, and then that turned into a comms position, and then now I've grown to, like you said, the editor role, and I bring writers in every season. So it's definitely interesting to see like both sides, knowing from the writer and then now getting that editor feel of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the landscape looks different every year, I'm sure. Better for the most part, yeah, in most ways. Matt, I don't know if you wanted to speak to anything about the starting lineups we've seen for both squads. It seems like there's some consistency there.
Yeah, let's burn through just quickly the names we have posted. Props to both teams for having some really nice starter graphics for us too, so I don't have to do it by eye line on the stream. So for Salvo, the visiting team in orange, Gagner in goal, Jones, Fiedler, Bilke, Heslin, Gutierrez, Wildman, Overberg, Beaton, Rintoul, and Harper. And for long time or big time equal time fans, vast majority of them have either been featured or mentioned in coverage. So a lot of great northern stars there for Salvo. For Sioux Falls, again, a pretty similar look from them. You have Fisher in goal, Storr, Tenpass, Malone, and Zacher across the back. In the midfield, Fuji, Van Meteren, and Lehman. And then Mühlenmeister, Moreno, and Christensen up top. A pretty similar starting 11 to what we've seen. At minimum, they have all been really consistent rotation players. It'll be interesting to see who from Salvo is available off the bench. That's not included in the graphic, so that will be an interesting piece because their rotation has had a little bit more. Sioux Falls, it's all pretty typical names you see on the bench there. Grania, Bosch, Thomas, DeHaven, Olschlager, Harmon, Boschia, Gomez, de Miraz, and Olsen and Rhodes. So similar look for Sioux Falls as we've seen, and similar for Salvo, but a few new names in there. I'm not sure we've seen Gutierrez the last few games, Overberg, sort of a new face, and Catherine Jones also coming back. But some players throughout the game will give some notes to. A lot of them play in programs you're familiar with in the Upper Midwest.
Yeah, and a fun fact for both these squads. Shout out to Joy AC, the Goats is their nickname. Both of these teams, and I saw this stat. This is from WPSL. They put this out. The only team to score on each of these squads this year. And Joy is, for people who don't watch, like Joy is an amazing club as awesome. An organization, and they are a solid soccer team. But you wouldn't have picked that they would be the one who is so good. Shout on them. They get to hang their hat on that. They're the only ones even to get a goal.
Well, and shout out to you, Nicole, and your team of comms folks. So the WPSL does something really cool, and they've done it forever, where they hire folks to do sort of the region by region coverage. And what it does is it helps add capacity to pull things like that, because clubs themselves sometimes are set up pretty lean and they don't always invest, or they aren't able to invest in staff to do things like that. So it's a credit to the league that you invest in stuff like that, so little nuggets like that can be pulled apart, because we know how hard it is to pull that stuff together. We do it for the teams we try and cover. So anytime a league or a team can do that, it's awesome. It makes it so much easier for us to cover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Speaking of your experience, Nicole, so right now you are, in the position you are directing communications at the league, but you've done other things in terms of like operations, Little Rock Rangers Soccer Club. You've been a ticket sales rep. Shout out to LinkedIn. This is sponsored by LinkedIn unofficially, but you were a ticket sales rep too. So, as anyone who kind of gets involved in the game, like you have to do everything. So these are the type of teams too, where like we see, like I was at Sioux Falls the other week, it's wonderful. And they're absolutely professional. They have all these volunteers. The owners are still running around doing stuff, right? So talk about what it takes for people to play roles like you've done in the past, where like to have to wear multiple hats, and how it makes these teams actually happen.
Yeah, well, I definitely encourage anyone who's looking to get into sports just to take that entry level position, that ticket box representative, just to get into the door, because I'm going from selling tickets to now, running full departments in there, and just seeing all the different aspects of what makes not only a team, but like on the league stand too. So it's definitely good to work your way up and kind of see all those different levels of sub teams within an organization like that, for sure.
Yeah, gives you respect for all the people and all their different work, right? When you're no longer in their shoes.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Well, and we're gonna kick off soon. I wanted to ask you one more thing. Is just you were a player, maybe you're still a player. You at University of Ozarks, right?
I did, yes.
And then also, like, you're so involved in it with work, and Matt and I relate to this, where we end up doing so much kind of work-related soccer stuff that is there much time left personally? So, like, how do you find time, or do you, to just engage with the game personally as we're kicked off here? Yeah.
Well, I think that the good side of it is, because it's work-related, I almost get, I get to watch soccer because of work. So, there's kind of like a good benefit there. Whereas, before, when I was just working outside of sports, it was, oh man, there's a game during office hours. How am I going to be able to watch it? So yeah, it's definitely given me more opportunity to catch all the different levels of games, whether that's, WPSL games or following the players during the collegiate season. And then, professionally too. So I try to work it in where it's not work related, but definitely being so involved with it, it does help to have an access to more opportunities to watch.
Yeah.
Well, and Nicole, I can just say, personally, and Salvo over here, possession on the end line, sending it in. Sioux Falls able to clear. Sioux Falls is in sort of the whites and Salvo's in the oranges. I'll just say too, I've been covering the WPSL since like 2017, maybe a really long time. I've, had to bug Nicole about stuff for years and years and years. Just a huge shout out. Fun to have you on, Nicole, and a shout out to you and all the work that league staff do. Just because it makes it possible for folks like us to try and amplify the teams even further. So really appreciate you having you on, and fun to be able to show your face to all the Equal Time fans who have benefited from your work for so many years.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. And I really appreciate what you guys are doing with Equal Time. You do a great job covering, Minnesota soccer, even outside of the WPSL, just across the board. So definitely growing the game there with y'all's work too. So much appreciated from my end as well.
Thank you, Nicole. We're going to have many more guests to talk to in the world of women's soccer. We're going to take a break and just focus on the game. But Nicole, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you guys. Enjoy the game.
All right.
Thanks.
Love it.
That's great.
By the way, that each team has only given up one goal is it's unreal. It's 8 games and 7 games, so it's not like it's 30, but it's wild. Salvo here.
You saw some early spice there, head coach and sporting director Joe DeMay. Heslin taking it now for Salvo, sending it in right to the box. Some danger, but good defense there.
Well, it just made me realize watching every attack and be like, well, how many can you expect to go in? But no, these two teams as well, by the way, for folks, it's only been a couple years. Sioux Falls City, a relatively new team in WPSL, 1 win for Salvo and then a draw last year that started the season, which kind of decided it.
And we were at that game, I think.
Yeah, we were.
Corner kick there. Heslin again taking it, driving it towards the PK. Ooh, some contact there. No whistle.
They tied that game. I think it might have been 1-1, but it was the first game in both teams. So a solid result for Sioux Falls City, and then they ended up in third, like a point off, I think, and are very close to. And then Salvo taking Thunder's spot. So Sioux Falls City was very close to getting to be in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, and just a cool moment, like you mentioned, for Salvo's long been a power in the conference. Same with MTA. Fun to see Sioux Falls able to take that step up, and they truly are in a position tonight whoever wins, if a team wins, they're able to be in pole position for the conference. So really cool to see that. We mentioned Salvo in the orange going right to left, Sioux Falls in the white going left to right. That's maybe a disservice to describe those kits as white. They actually have a really cool color fade and blend. But
I don't know. It's a kind of a rainbow aurora fade from the top.
Yeah,
sorry, that's just the best word I could think of.
Yeah.
For, I guess.
Another corner here, Heslin again. Driven. Ooh, that's some danger. Nice back post, some post of defense there.
Some of these players, Salvo has as many experience. Whoa! Blasted it. A little far. Salvo has as many over college age players, I think, as it seems. I mean, we don't always get to see the rosters and look up these things, but they really are willing to let players stay integrated. And shout out to the players for staying sharp enough. Someone like Heslin, sharp enough to keep playing at this level, even if you stop playing the game full time.
Yeah, mostly today the folks you have who are older are Molly Fiedler and Emily Heslin, and they're so far out of the college game that they alone bring up the average, just the two of them. Long time Equal Time stars, obviously. Catherine Jones, the longtime South Dakota State defender, might now be done, but she's a long-time star for the Jackrabbits. We'll look her up. Otherwise, just a ton of who's who of Equal Time folks. Angela Gutierrez, Elle Wildman we haven't had, but I think she's committed to Iowa, so that's cool to get a chance to see her. Elizabeth Overberg, the captain center back for the Gophers. Alma Beaton, a Gopher. Cam Rintoul, a holding mid for St. Thomas. Kaya Harper. Also, fun fact, congratulations to Molly Fiedler, who just got named the head coach at St. Olaf. So we got a
nice. D3 Connect.
Some danger there. Mm-hmm. Salvo trying to keep it alive.
Didn't have enough time. Would have loved to dig into the D3 soccer culture in the Ozarks because I was D3 soccer adjacent. So it is fun for us to talk about. Yeah. By the way, I'm so curious about this power ranking system.
This algorithm.
Algorithm, so to say. I mean, people love to call that stuff AI now, so they'll probably call it AI next year. But Salvo number 1, Sioux Falls City number 2, FC Dayton number 3, Milwaukee Torrent number 4. So I think those are the 4 Central region, or then Clarkstown Soccer Club. To be honest, FC Dayton could be a place outside of Ohio, so I don't know if they're the Central. Apologies. But yeah, a lot of power from our area, and then the Thunder are at 15 as well. But those are the people present from our region of WPSL.
Yeah, I mean, I do love that they don't do the voting. They try and create that formula. I mean, there's still a human element to it, but it is kind of a cool way to try and just decide on metrics and go from there. And like you said, the fact that these teams have only given up a goal each is just like, I mean, we see plenty of giant goal differentials in the summer in all the leagues. We see crazy stuff, but giving up only a goal that's as crazy as any goal differential number. I mean, like, to only give up one.
It's the reason it's wild, because in games that you win 8-0, you're absolutely prone to like one moment, because of course if you're up 8-0 or 6-0, you're going to stop. Your initiative will slow, but regardless, I love that. I mean, the note that, by the way, that these teams, and we watched it, it's with Salvo last year, but they end up that they have to play back-to-backs is really, really tough. But one at least sliver of the functionality of that being unlimited subs, so that makes it a lot safer for players, because you can actually really run them through if you need to.
Little bit of a moment here. A Salvo player had some kind of contact, looked like maybe the back of the head. I think they're doing a check. Maybe it wasn't, but we're doing a check here, and the trainer will take the player off. I believe that's Angela Gutierrez. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yep, Gutierrez, the young star for Drake, who we've featured a couple times. I think they're just being cautious, which we, of course, very supportive of just in situations like this. They will have a free kick from about 40 yards, maybe 35, 40 yards. Yeah, 32, 33.
Like, trying to get a sense of
excuse me, 42 yards.
There you go. Come on, college football player. But I was trying to get a sense of what that if Angela was wanting to stay on in the ref. Yeah.
So Heslin from about 42, 43. Serves it in.
Oh my goodness. That was a beautiful ball. Really, really scary for the keeper, because it dropped just far enough. They had to make Campbell Fisher had to make the decision. A young keeper getting a lot of reps after her debut season at South Dakota. She's a Coyote.
Yep. Breaking
away from her older sister's path, playing at South Dakota State, and also a lot of her other family. I met Campbell Fisher's. This is why we go to Sioux Falls, because I met Campbell Fisher's grandparents, and Campbell Fisher's grandpa played Phil Jackson in college basketball. So shout out to the Fishers.
If he would have been a little bit older, maybe he would have played our grandpa in basketball.
Quite a bit older. Quite a bit older. Campbell and Haley Fisher are a bit younger than we are.
A little younger than us.
But shout out to but it is a cool thing. Haley Fisher was a keeper for Sioux Falls City. She stood out at South Dakota State, and then the club brought her in as a keeper coach. She's now a high school coach and a teacher. So cool to see clubs keeping their culture going, keeping it developing by keeping people involved.
We got Angela Gutierrez back on the field, so that's a good sign. Nothing too serious. Good to see her back out there. We got just a ton of really great talent from the Dakotas on this Sioux Falls City, South Dakota team. Shout out to Salvo for having so many great Twin Cities area players shining for their hometown team. Sioux Falls City really has done an outstanding job of that too. I mean, a ton of South Dakota and North Dakota talent, which you love to see, because there are just fewer summer league teams out there. And so just love seeing local players getting an opportunity where otherwise they would have to go, out of state or find a host family or whatever, so they can play sort of vaguely locally. And a lot of true Sioux Falls kids on this team too, Haley Christensen, Ellie Schock, these kids who are true Sioux Falls kids getting a chance to play locally. Taylor Thomas, who's coming off the bench for Sioux Falls, another one. So just great. to see local players get that opportunity.
Yeah, for Salvo, someone just killing it as she has always for Salvo in the WPSL is Kaya Harper. She was Player of the Week last week. She gets hat tricks for fun. 15 goals so far in 8 games. She's someone. It's a good example of when you're on a team that is thriving, and we see Sioux Falls City never making it easy. It's not easy to get through them, even for Salvo. But when you're on a team that thrives and has all these weapons and all this built-in chemistry, you see what she can do versus, on a Gopher team that doesn't have the same sort of like talent edge and like automatic advantage. It's tougher. You don't get to score 15 goals in 8 games. So Salvo just works on that.
And it's just the nature of the summer game versus the college game. We talk about it all the time. The fact that these games end up being a little bit more wide open. Players are a little bit more free. There's a lot of factors that go into that, but it does end up meaning that attacking players can sometimes get showcased even more, or at least sort of get some confidence built up. And, a player like Kaya Harper, who has, came in with tons of accolades, just has never had like a breakout college season, but she has always starred super impressively for Salvo and attempted big through ball there, gets back to the Sioux Falls keeper. But Kaya Harper, one thing she and the Gopher coaching staff have mentioned is they're basically saying this is the only healthy spring she's ever had, when they compare all the different recoveries she had. And so I think she probably came into summer maybe feeling even better than she has. And that's saying something, because last year she also was just absolutely unreal offensively. So and like you said, the WPSL National Player of the Week. So really impressive.
Something to be said about, like you said, in these WPSL and leagues similar to it. And Sioux Falls tries a really long ball, not quite close enough. As they, the games, like you said, because they tend to have some varying score lines, and you end up with games that are open. Players also with speed can really benefit, because if you're someone who's sharp and still fit, you have that as well. But
Sioux Falls with a pretty high press, really trying to sort of force the run of play in their direction, or at least get Salvo uncomfortable with their run of play. So Equal Time always fully endorses a press, so love to see it.
Sure. Matt especially. I'm open, talk to me. But no, both these teams are really they have enough continuing chemistry. They have enough talent. They really do try to play, even in a season that's really short and it's tough to get chemistry. Like, they try to play the beautiful game, you could say.
Window here. Salvo with a chance. Nice block. Good defensive positioning by Sioux Falls to make
sure
that
Harper cutting in?
Looked like Kaya Harper, working sort of right to left. Deflected out.
She is really confident, taking the ball herself. A couple dribbles. She definitely is the type of attacker where once she gets close to net, you do kind of get the sense like it's all she's thinking about.
Right.
Laser.
Right. Which sometimes you kind of want from your final third player. Hesslin with another corner. Lofted ball to the PK spots, just wide. Looks like it'll be a goal kick.
Interesting to see. It's really kind of like a floated. It's like a lofted corner. It not as much like a a swinger and not a power. It's kind of a floater. I don't know if they're trying to get a flick on with that.
I think the previous ones are maybe a little bit more driven. Folks who have followed my writing at Equal Time are probably really tired of me talking about it, but usually that lofted ball is going to be a little less dangerous because the runner can't get much power on it at the end. And so usually you want to drive it a little bit more than that. There are times, good pressure. I believe Alma beaten with some high press. No, it could be, excuse me. We'll see once we get a little closer angle. But yeah, that free kick service, Salvo has already had several corner kicks, so if they continue trying to earn those, the way they serve those in and run those in will matter quite a bit.
Shout out to all the Sioux Falls City fans who went to the Roundhouse before the game. That's right by. It is fun. They have a place right by for supporters. It's not so far out of like downtown as well, but had a fun time at that game 2 weeks ago. A lot of fans there, and Bob Young Field, University of Sioux.
Some danger. A nice ball. Sioux Falls trying to just press the issue a little bit, just trying to make that Salvo defense stay honest on that back line. Don't mind those sort of early risks to just see if they can find a window.
Yeah, so I'm just double checking. I was seeing this hat trick stat for Kai Harper. In 26 minutes, she tallied a hat trick, and she had 4.5. So these are putting up goals for fun. She's going to end up with a pretty good total in the WPSL.
Oh, yeah, like a career total, yeah.
Pretty good. She's still, I mean, hey, she could play 5 more. She can keep playing. Baby.
That's true, that's true.
I mean, how many years out of the U is Heslin? 4 or 5?
How many years out of the U?
Yeah.
So Molly Heslin, if folks aren't like long time equal time followers, Emily Heslin and Molly Fiedler were stars with the Gopher program and finished in 2018.
Okay, I didn't hold them.
fall of 2018, and so they have basically played every summer since then. So yeah, you could add a handful on top. And on the Sioux Falls City side, Muhlenmeister has been just absolutely carving it up. When we've been watching, Christensen's been dangerous, Moreno's been dangerous. Mm-hmm. It's fun seeing McKenna Lehman play more of like a true midfield role here for St. Thomas. She gets moved around a lot, and sometimes she's sort of the 9, sometimes she's wherever. And it's been fun in some of these wide open games. You see her sort of in combination more. So that's kind of a blast too. We cover these players in college so much, and you see eventually there the Salvo player whistled. So Sioux Falls will reset. That's Jordan Tempest.
And we will say to folks, for when we get into playoff time, there's so many games between then and now for us at equal time. But when we get to WPSL playoff time, we'll definitely look at the logistics and do our best to see if there's a watch party to be organized. If not, certainly publicize the playoffs. It starts to get really fun in all of these leagues. The summer leagues, as we call them, the stratification between top and bottom can be big in each local area. And so when you get to playoffs, it's just so intense.
Yeah.
And it's very fun to engage with.
Yep. Ooh, some dangerous ball there. Woo. Wow. Gagner, that's a big play by Gagner.
Amazing. Good jump. And also that's a really bad sun line for that ball.
Oof,
she has that sun line
for that angle
right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Shout out to Allianz Fields for going north-south. They get some weird sun lines.
Well, this one, I think
this is just the time of day it is.
Yeah.
You just get it. Yeah, that's what it is. But
it's not like TCO Stadium in Egan. If folks have seen games there, it actually is east-west, and so a keeper does get wrecked for the first half. Like one of the keepers
straight on. Yeah, depending on the time of day.
Yeah.
Oh, great ball! Wow, tried to one-time that too. Yeah, it's something that you're seeing. I mean, also when I say watching Sioux Falls City, they really play great soccer. I mean, I'm referring specifically.
Ooh, nice press, turned it over. Ooh, some contact there. I think they'll allow continuation, and eventually they do get the whistle.
Ooh. But no, they're finally, as Sioux Falls City not being like a team sitting atop an academy structure, they're starting to see the development of that chemistry over years now, as they still get new players, but have this core. Because Salvo, some of these girls have been playing for like a decade more,
Yeah. And now McKenna Lehman standing over it here for City. A nice shot of the kit, by the way. This is a really nice close-up. Shout out to Sioux Falls City for such a high-quality broadcast for us tonight. Lehman, low driven. I love that.
Going for there, like a shot.
I think a shot.
High?
I think a shot.
He ripped that.
That was a low driven ball. That was sweet. And Gagner just able to get a piece of it. And so it'll be a corner.
Solid, like maybe 28 yards out. The one thing about American soccer on football fields does help us with that. But
yeah, baby. And shout out, we've mentioned it on our previous watch alongs and when we cover games in general, but this stadium at University of Sioux Falls, Bob Young Field, is really kind of a nice venue. I mean, it's like 4,000 seater, whatever it is.
You just called the play, by the way. She just went like this.
Here we go. To that far post. Ooh, I feel like it was almost going.
Okay, so now I'm curious because I saw her do this.
Almost. I think she was almost going Olympico.
I'm guessing. If that is a play, shout out to Sioux Falls City for being cheeky. Also, I'm guessing maybe it was just the far post head back in, like head it to the far post then bring it back in.
I think that may have been Christensen taking it. I couldn't quite see the number, but we can catch the next one. Yeah, it's a really nice stadium. I mean, it's fairly new. It has suites. It has a sort of upper deck, a big lower deck. The concourse is really nice and accessible.
Covered.
Merch there. It's covered. It has, concessions. It's just a really, really nice venue. I mean, I can't imagine there can't be more than maybe 5, 10, 15 better venues in the WPSL. I mean, it's a really nice spot.
Yeah. No, it's a good place to showcase the league. And I will say, look at those seat backs for everyone who sits on bleachers, 90% of the time. Boy, yeah, that was nice. Although I don't know if I sat down much during the game, but yeah. Salvo coming back up here on the wing.
Playing in a stadium like this also is what helps unlock a quality broadcast too. You have good viewing angles. You have the infrastructure set up for you. Ooh, some nice havoc. Oh no.
How did they keep that ball? Wow.
Looked like, I believe that top player at the top of the spear was Kaya Harper, and then someone else was running along with her. Kind of a nice, ambitious attempt on that once it bounced free to just take a shot and see if you could get by Fisher, but good positioning by Fisher there to make sure it's not an easy chance.
Maybe the first, they maybe had one other actual shot on goal. Both teams had a corner or two where it was just a save, but
yeah. Ooh, Sioux Falls with it now. Down the end line. And it did go out, so it'll be another corner for Sioux Falls. Let's see if they call the same play.
Yeah, X. So by the way, I'm gonna be a biased player. My favorite player on Sioux Falls City, just from celebration, I'm not talking about the game, is Fuji, because she had a goal in. And they posted this, and she was happy to let me interview her about it a little bit. I don't think she remembered it as well as I did. She does other things. We got Sioux Falls City back in.
It's Mo Malone, so it was number 2 who took the last one, and it's Mo Malone again.
Didn't see a signal for a play.
Lofted to the top of the 6. Some danger!
Whoa! I think that was Lulu Moreno. Shout out to having a different haircut.
Who got on it? Who got on it? You're saying Moreno got on it?
Who got the head? And then, Lehman. Is it Lehman in the back?
Yeah.
And keep for...
Gagner. And Mo Malone is a center back taking this corner kick, by the way. Props to her for the ball skill.
Let's see again.
Sending it in again. Malone again. This time again, far post.
Yeah, they were trying to get that. I think they're trying to get that head back across and get the short one in.
Yep. This is a fun... Summer is so fun where Mo Malone and Ellie Olsen are a center back pairing for the University of Mary, and they're both on this team in the summer. Just stuff like that has a fun little nugget. Man, Sioux Falls is so aggressive. They're just really sort of waiting to jump the passing lines, not in a reckless way, just in a we are active as hell way.
Yeah, they're definitely confident. Oh, here I'm gonna add in.
Emily, you can signal to us when you're ready to go.
Wave to me, Emily, if you want to start. She's in. We'll start it. Let's see.
I'm watching this game.
Emily, we need
Fuji sends it in.
We're here with newly signed Equal Time sideline correspondent Emily Thomas. Emily, we had fun with the pup Marvel last time, but she decided to keep it more tame and predetermined without having the puppy. Emily, how you feeling on the sideline right now?
I did. I mean, I'm not allowed on the actual sideline,
right.
But I'm doing good. It's a good match. Good.
It's been fun.
An intense game. If folks somehow still don't know, Emily Thomas is the owner of Sioux Falls City. She and her husband are the owners. Look at that beautiful shot of the concourse we got there.
Oh, that's great. That's wonderful.
There we go.
We were hyping it.
We have a full house.
So I was there a couple weeks ago. It was a really good crew because there was the big tournament, but we were hyping up just what a special atmosphere this is for the league. Just, I mean, talk about what you must have a good vibe there today, closing out is this your last home game?
This is our last, well, I mean, of the regular season.
We'll see. I love it.
I like that. That's a good owner answer right there.
What have been your favorite? I mean, obviously the team's winning, right? I mean, we talked about how crazy it is, how few goals you even give up. You
better knock on some wood over there, wherever you are.
What have been some of your favorite memories from this year? Because it's it probably feels like both half a year and 10 years that you've been having this team going now.
Yes. I don't know. Like the memories, I think for me, I love the celebrations, obviously the goal celebrations of those players that don't normally get to do that, or that haven't been allowed to do that, and now they're just like kind of breaking free and just having fun. I love a lot of it for me is the off-field stuff.
Yeah.
So we did a lot this week of just showing up at different like women in business events, and just we took things to all of our partners. Like all the players went around to the community and distributed and met and took pictures with our partners, and to hear the things that these players are saying and to just hear what this experience has been, like I about started bawling. That's what's just super cool, and just how close they are. I mean, they truly call themselves family. So I love that.
I love it. And by the way, Sioux Falls City's still pressing hard here, Matt. Like they are, I mean, relentless. And also I think
really under control.
One thing I've liked about your team to watch too, Emily, is both clearly like the team has a cohesion and they can do things together, but I feel like they're fairly dynamic and like open to taking what other teams give them. So I feel like, I don't know, how does it feel like to you in terms of, obviously you think about off the field stuff a lot more probably, or you have to, but
that's probably good. Joe would prefer that.
This is the thing, but on the field is the more fun stuff. Like what have you noticed about, because you watch the team more than I do, like what have you noticed about watching the Sioux Falls City team different this year than past?
This year for sure we have a more attacking mindset. We've got players that want to score. They they take the shots, and we haven't necessarily had that. We've got the players that can finish, and so that's fun this year.
Yeah, they go at it. They don't. I mean, the first year when you play and you're playing Salvo and the Thunder, who are like the big clubs, and they win, and they have, they quite frankly, like they have resources and they've been successful. I'm sure there's a certain mindset, and so it clearly, with your players, you absolutely can see there's no sort of inferiority, or there's no, I guess when like players like to say, respecting them too much, right?
No.
I know. No. I forget if I asked you this when I saw you, but I asked this of Nicole from the league. Do you have any time to like engage with soccer like personally, or do you even or like is it just you're getting all this and it's kind of as much as you can even take?
I mean, I have a 16-year-old, so I was at President's Cup in Kansas City, or regional, whatever, Midwest Regionals last weekend. So I got a different take of soccer.
Yep.
We watched the United, we watched the, men's national team, we watched the women's teams. I mean, soccer is on at our house all the time, all hours of the day.
Yeah. Well, and come fall, you'll have your whole new slate of schedules to follow. Of course, your daughter Taylor playing down at Florida Gulf Coast, and we always love to call out the fun Minnesota connection that Allie Kempinen, who's a Minnesotan, is on staff there. So fun little tie-ins.
Yeah,
well, and
Kat is at Florida Gulf Coast too.
Yep.
I love that. So you guys, Sioux Falls City just had a great cross in, trebling the keeper. They've had a few moments. It's been like Lulu Moreno is just getting in there. She's really fun to watch. But
she is. Yeah, she's I love her.
A chance here. Looks like a little bit of a
checking on an injury. Oh, that's too bad.
Oh, too bad. We'll see once we zoom in here.
Is that that might be Tyrese?
Someone limping off.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that. Glad we got the trainer there right away to.
Oh no, that's Haley Christensen. That's
Oh.
not good.
Tough to see, although at least sort of still using both legs a bit. Hopefully that's a signal of something positive. We'll see Haley Christensen, one of the Sioux Falls natives, who's been one of those really fun
Wait,
attacking players.
Does that look like an 11? Like it
Yeah.
does
Number
look like-
11.
yeah, it is.
Number 11.
Yeah.
Yep.
Haley Christensen.
Yep.
So we'll see. We'll hope for some good news there.
Oh hey, Taylor's coming out. Let's go.
There we
Okay,
go.
so Taylor Thomas is coming in.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
here we go. And there we mentioned earlier when Emily mentioned Kat. There's Katarina Olschlager,
Oh, there we
who
go.
plays down at Florida Gulf Coast. A German player who's playing for Sioux Falls. Been a really fun attacking player for them.
You guys want to hear something kind of cool?
Let's go.
So our supporters group, Army of the
Uh-huh.
Falls, they made a scarf for Kat,
Yeah.
and it's Goldschlager.
I love that.
I'll get you one.
Right here. So they were Army of the Falls. I went to the game, and for anyone, by the way, and repping the WPSL with Mankato United as well.
Mhm.
Anyone who gives us, soccer stuff will rep it. But Army of the
course.
Falls, really cool. And by the way, like for all the people who watching, a lot of our followers, we got Salvo coming up now.
Yep, Salvo on the attack.
Ooh. Oh wait.
Oh, let's see. Nice defense there.
Every
by
time
City.
City has been really good about just the urgency when they get into the defensive third.
Mhm.
But no, a lot of our followers also, started as people who would go to Minnesota United games, or back in the day
Yep.
when they were called the Thunder and they were called everything else under the sun, the Stars.
Yeah.
The supporters group started so small, and you'd go and you're like, oh my gosh, but it was at least some place where someone could go to like connect with people. And then it starts literally one at a time. And so I had such a fun time meeting those folks, and it reminded me of the soccer community I'm a part of too. So it was really cool.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, if it can grow like yours has, that would be incredible. Like you guys do such a good job there.
But
It's
but
fun.
people like it, and it builds on itself, because if there's something like that there, like all the kids who come like the game more, and then
Yeah.
you guys do I think it's really popular now, which is great. It's like good ideas steal all of them, like Autograph Alley. I don't know who did it first, but all of our teams like to do that
we
Very
now.
stole it.
cool.
And I watched that. I watched the kids. Oh wow, Salvo threw, and another amazing recovery. So that was like a 30-yard through ball. Your team stopped them up, Emily. That
Really
it's
nice
Good.
defense.
amazing. But talk about that, like Autograph Alley, and how it makes all these kids see a future, and just also soccer players of any kind being like, oh, soccer is a thing. I can think about my future in this.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, that has been super cool. Like we have sold a ton of jerseys, and to see the little kids going out onto the field just to get anything signed
Yeah.
and to talk to the players. We after our last home game, we got an email from a parent who said that his 7-year-old daughter came to her first match,
Mhm.
and she was in it from
Yeah.
the moment that it started. She knew all the players' names, and it was just incredible to get. I mean, somebody took the time to write a very long email about what an impact our players had
Yeah.
on this little 7-year-old, and just how intentional our players were with making sure that she felt valued and made sure that she felt like, hey, you can do this too.
Very cool.
And I think like that's just awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Well, and you see, Mark and I have both been to games at Bob Young
Mhm.
Stadium and Bob Young Field, and you see the amount of fans there, and you see the amount of fans like hyping up over the players. And I was only there last year; I didn't even get to see it this year. And you just see the amount of the reason we do this is because the players deserve that kind of love and support. And so the reason you do it is for the same reason. Seeing them get that is just, it's the whole thing.
Ooh,
And so
Salvo with
Exactly.
a wonderful attack now. Oh, both teams are really like, once they get to the top of the 18, it's too difficult. But Sioux Falls trying right now again.
Some nice combination.
Uh,
Wow. Gagner just able to get to it again. Nice job by Gagner.
it's funny for our
Sorry,
guests to have
didn't
to watch.
want to make you guys throw up. Sorry about that.
Funny to watch the games this way, Emily, for you have to hear us kind of gutturally react. But yeah,
Well, it's funny because like you're. I mean, obviously, I'm seeing it
Mhm.
like.
we're
sooner,
behind.
right?
Mhm. This
Do you
is
want me to give you? Do you want me to like
this is
build
what
a
this
make-
this is what happened when I was at the stadium at Seafoam and Mark was remote, and I had to lie and pretend I didn't see it, and then I would wait for the stream.
Right.
You guys aren't going to get that from me. I'm sorry.
If you want to give, but if you want to try, quick 10-second of just describe it. I don't even try to do this. If you want to do your side, oh my gosh, yeah. See, I'm behind you now, but I'm too excited.
We're so behind.
Rather run through.
Well, Emily, the only other stuff, we'll let you get
Just
back to watch.
Keep watching this. This is something good.
If
All
we
right.
hear the crowd, it would betray it if we heard the crowd from Emily. Yeah.
I'll try and actually call the game a little bit. Nice defense from Sioux
Yes.
Falls.
Mhm.
Salvo trying to send it down. Still Sioux Falls trying to block them in.
But no, Emily, we appreciate you coming on. We really we like having games like this and teams like this to highlight. So we love the insight. We're watching to see what happens with the playoffs, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the game. We're going to try to pay attention and see if a goal comes here.
Yeah, same. Thank you guys for having me, and thank you for what you do for elevating and supporting us and women's sports. Appreciate it. And as always, have a blast with you.
Thanks
All
so
right.
much. Thanks,
We will
Emily.
see. Thank you, Emily. I love that when we have, I didn't think of how if we heard a cheer from her, we would have known.
Although I think she kind of bait and switched us. She was like, yeah, wait and see what happens here. I was sort of assuming a goal would happen. I think we got
Maybe it's a whole minute behind. Yeah.
I don't think we're that far behind.
No. Honestly, the Aurora one is that far behind. So, but
So, yeah, like
TV,
40 seconds at least, yeah.
that's helpful. No, shout out to
Emily
Thomas. Any by the way, we if any of the other WPSL clubs have a female owner that want to talk to us, we talk to who we are aware of and who's engaged with it. But we love talking to anybody involved in the game.
Yeah.
Shout out to one of my other great sources in another like Katie Brink in the UPSL. She's one of the great ones doing a lot of women's soccer work.
Yeah, and just to we've mentioned the work that Emily Thomas and the whole Sioux Falls City team has done. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of different ways these clubs can be set up. There's a lot of things that clubs can prioritize, and Sioux Falls City has just done a really good job of building out the things we find so helpful.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're trying to become, their aspirations of being pro themselves. Salvo, they're create pros to export. They, and they've been doing it. So it's
Oh, chance here. Sioux Falls. Nice defense. I believe deflected out by the defender.
Or the keeper.
I think both. Although I don't know if they called it. Looks like they called it a goal kick. It
didn't have a lot of options. So just, taking the near post hard shot, seeing if you can get deflection.
From Olschlager there.
I guess it didn't. I guess it went wide. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Looked like there was a touch, but I guess not. Yeah, but Sioux Falls just, the broadcast makes it so easy to cover. The fact that they post, the goal scorers, the fact that their roster is posted, all that stuff. It sounds so kind of petty when we complain that teams don't do that. But if a team doesn't do it, all we're going to be able to say is goal for Salvo, attempt for this. And we also have to physically go to games. So just the broadcast stuff really is beneficial. And all the stuff that matters to us is what matters to fans too, being able to sort of be a fan of the team. Salvo trying to break the lines and get through.
Yeah, I get my my fans who love the women's game, love the men's game too, asking for a women's equivalent of a Super Cup, so you could have teams from all these different leagues play each other. People just like to think about that, like which teams are best, and I think stuff like that is really fun. If people follow that on the men's side, that's a fun thing of all the different lower level men's teams playing. And the logistics and scheduling are the real barrier. If there was space for it, I think probably everyone would be down. But it's a fun way to highlight both leagues, all the leagues.
Yeah, looks like Sadie Harper coming on for not sure who they came on for.
Talk about how much Gopher alum there is on this Salvo team, Matt.
Yeah, a lot of alums, so obviously folks are probably sick of us repeating this, but the cap for Division One programs is you can only have 5 teammates from a single Division One women's soccer team on a WPSL or summer league team, but that doesn't count alums, and it also I don't believe counts commits who have yet to play for the team.
It doesn't. No.
So Salvo, for instance, Salvo as a good example, Carson Yon, Aaron Gabriel, these are commits to the Gophers who have not yet suited up. Sioux Falls with a chance. Top of the box. Tries to go through. Ooh. Tried to go sort of the perfect setup there. Maybe could have just cut left and ripped it too, but good build up. So as we mentioned, so Carson Yon and Aaron Gabriel are University of Minnesota commits, but they have not played for the U of M yet. In terms of alums, you have Molly Fiedler, Emily Heslin, Sadie Harper, I believe is who just came on, another Gopher alum. Current Gophers like Kaya Harper, Elizabeth Overberg does not play every game for Salvo, but has played a couple. She's playing in this one. And then we've also seen Fiona Skorofsky in a previous game. Ooh,
Yikes, that is a bummer to see.
Tough one there.
Another knee.
The Harper sisters helping Cameron Rintualoff. We hope and hope and hope and hope and hope and hope it is just a something not too major. That's a bummer.
Couple neat. Never want to see that. But wow, incredible. I mean, and so you have to be strategic and also maybe just lucky and also have that be your pipeline that you could have so many people. That is rare in WPSL. Yeah, man, really hate to see these injuries. Hopefully Cam is okay. Really fun holding midfielder for St. Thomas. Former Gopher Sophia Bargeste, who now plays for St. Thomas, is also suited up for Salvo. Just a ton of really fun local talent. Great ball to the left. I believe that Sadie Harper on it. Tries to. Oh, it's tough. She tried to cut it back, not quite sharp enough on the cut. Like she either had to go far, go near. Yeah, she made the choice and couldn't quite get that turn.
Oh, an ambitious tried to around the world. Elizabeth
I love it. Also of Salvo, they're players who like veteran into defensive roles, right? That's kind of funny. Like players who previously would have been way further up. When I watch them, I forget who is Heslin up.
There's times where Salvo with the chance here too. Nice defense there by Sioux Falls. Yeah, so like Heslin and Fiedler are the best example. When they, for 4 years, the two of them played every single game, every single minute for the Gophers as sort of
6 and 8.
Oh, look at this chance!
Wow, no.
Oh,
the recovery defense on both teams is
really good.
Is playing like it's a game with some, and I think they would play this way if it was the first game too. But they look like they're playing with the title on the line.
Yeah, because both teams are doing an unbelievable job of creating the chance, and then once they get to that chance moment, the other teams are just shutting it down. Yeah. So Heslin and Fiedler played every minute of every game together for 4 years. Heslin as the holding mid, sort of the 6. And Fiedler is sort of the 8, and now they're basically the center back pair. Well, I shouldn't say they're not the center back pair today because Overberg is playing, but there are games where they're literally the center backs.
Yeah, a surprise, but I mean, hey, that's how veterans in all sports find their ways through. I mean, that's what wingers become D-backs. It's just amazing. Urgency both teams really want to try to get the edge, and it's just like it's so minute the difference to
just through. look at this build up play. Like they're like there's not missing almost any passes. Like this is ridiculous for like a WPSL game. Just really, really good spacing, which leads to easier passes. They're executing on these passes, and like you said, both teams are also just defending their butts off.
Also, by the way, the sun line from the first half has moved so much, and I wonder if in the second half, if the Salvo keeper is going to have to struggle with that a little bit. I don't know. I can't tell. But close to wrapping up here. 0-0, anything but boring or stale. Not lacking dynamic attack, not lacking much. I mean, a really fun for a 0-0.
I mean, these teams are just... I think we see over the course of a summer, when you play in a WPSL season, you have to build a team chemistry really quickly. And then what you see is the teams that train well and train intentionally improve so much over the course of a season because that training time and game time, oh my goodness.
She's on sides.
Free on goal. Oh, she'll want that back. She'll want that back.
Kind of split the difference between. Oh, they're still on it. We'll wait and see here. Ooh. She kind of split the difference between going near post and far post.
Yeah.
And slightly missed on like a high near post. We'd have to look back at that ball. We can't rewind, but it'd be great to see that first initial ball because that was incredible. Can we? Yeah.
So we went.
You went a whole minute back. Go one forward.
Well, no, now I missed it again.
Well. That's what we try to do. Talk to the producer.
Yeah, let's make sure we speed this up for sure.
We're full. Talk to our staffer.
We'll return it back, and then we'll just pretend this is game time until half. Ooh, man, what a perfect run. Yeah, wow.
I think maybe either take one more dribble and pick one, or I didn't really have a layoff, but
yeah.
Gosh.
I think maybe like a small additional touch. I think they had a little more time than they thought. You see their Fiedler goes down.
Yeah. But yeah, desperate obviously to make use of it.
Yeah.
Wow. Really good 0-0.
I mean,
another chance for Salvo.
Ooh, driven and a follow-up.
Oh!
Whoa! That was insane.
That reeked, for people who've been watching the Euros at the bar, that reeked of the Euros have been either golazos, own goals, or insane line plays like that. Defenders
another chance.
Yeah, we can rewind once we're done.
Yeah,
with
as soon as this is done, we'll
Sioux
go to
Falls
a replay.
City. They definitely Salvo had the ball, had a shot on goal. Sioux Falls City defender blocked it absolutely. After I don't know if Campbell Fisher got the first save.
It's a goal-saving block. A goal saving.
I think it may be multiple players, to be honest. That's the type of it's intense defending we're seeing from both of these teams. Like,
wow.
Really cool to see people defend that hard. I like it. And very few fouls, like 3, 4.
Yeah,
they're both playing.
Yep. And not even like a fouls not being called thing. Like even people fouling.
Just playing clean, playing the game. Yeah, pretty good example. Honestly, shout out to
They must call it soon, right?
To the folks watching of the whole WPSL Central region. You picked a good game of the week. Turns out. Yeah, I know it's 0-0. These are good teams. It turns out.
I mean, this is
the algorithm picked the first and one. And two.
I mean, they're also 1 and 2 in the literal standings, not just in the power rankings.
I trust the algorithm more.
True. Yeah, they're robots.
2024, baby.
Well, I'm assuming they'll whistle it pretty quick, and they do whistle it. We're gonna go back and look at that chance.
Let's check it out. As we look to check it out, folks, we're gonna have. It's probably been too long, but these folks are less about getting shine and attention than we are. They do a lot of amazing work writing. We're gonna have people from Lights Football in the second half, and we're gonna talk about this, but I use them as the place if I didn't watch a game. This is it.
So see the chance again into the box. Or did I go back too far? Or not far enough?
Look. I think...
Well, we'll see. Either way, this is halftime time. We'll let it roll in. But yeah, as Mark mentioned, once we start the second half, we will have Tim and Ashley from Lights Football. See the chance here. Another look at this chance. Beats the defender into the box. Initial save.
Bumbled it herself, the Salvo player.
And good defensive positioning, but wow.
So she missed on getting the rebound shot.
Yeah.
Defenders slid. Wow. Okay. We're going to do a little break. You guys watch the stream so we can fill up our water cups. And we'll be back. Good. All right. Waste no more time. People got a sneak peek a little bit in that halftime. I didn't know. We don't do a lot of live streams. We're learning. No,
don't do a lot of live streams.
Watch alongs.
Watch alongs.
Well, not where I waited a halftime of a game. Anyway.
True.
I accept responsibility. Tim, we have Tim Abbott in the waiting room. We have Ashley coming in as well. Tim, if you want to join in, give me a wave, man. We'll just pull you in now, dude. Tim's someone who writes for we're getting Tim in. We got to use this time so we can watch the game. We're in the watch alongs, Matt. We're learning that we got to try to focus on the game too.
True, yeah.
Tim, you're one of our old time buds doing this type of work. You've been doing coverage of summer leagues longer than me, man. Talk about when you first started doing it. Talk about how you got into doing summer league coverage.
So I was involved with a team that predates most of what we're even covering here, called FC Fargo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Back in 2015, I was roped in. I was still in England at that point, but I was coming over to the States and was roped into doing the comms end for the club.
Yeah.
That club didn't last very long. So I my background is in broadcast journalism, so I switched to covering games rather than doing the comm side for the club, and was on and off. I've kind of done both for Fusion.
Mm-hmm.
I've done some club stuff for them, but mostly I've been doing this, covering the WPSL and MPSL games. I covered their games, and then E Pluribus Lunum needed people to cover the league as a whole, so I jumped on to covering that.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. We have your co-collaborator in the waiting room now, so we're gonna bring Ashley in. I think we have Ashley here.
Yeah.
And was FC Fargo, was that Premier League of America? Midwest Premier? What was that?
That was they had a league, if you can even call it that.
But it was like a
APL, American Premier League.
Yes. Okay, now we have that. Yeah, FC Fargo. I recall. Yeah, no, but I had to bring in Ashley here. Ashley Page, who also does Lights football work among other soccer things. Welcome, Ashley.
Long time that I haven't been in doing something like this with y'all.
Hey, we got you. So
this is as well. Mark mentioned Tim when it was just Tim on. Tim's been doing this longer than us. Ashley, for sure, I think has that credibility as well. Yeah. The way I always describe it to people, if not longer, certainly as long. The thing I always use as my barometer is when I would be very frequently sitting very, very alone at high school soccer stadiums and random empty soccer stadiums in the summer. The only other person I would frequently run into, or the people I would run into, would be Tim and Ashley. So just when I talk about my story of starting to cover women's soccer in Minnesota and the Upper Midwest, these two are like my ultimate OGs, like the ultimate respect to them for when I came onto the scene, they would be the ones also at the stadium covering games that would otherwise just be invisible to other folks. So we just have like the utmost respect for these two. And they're still doing it over at Lights Football, which, as Mark mentioned in the first half, we just, couldn't be happier to have other folks doing this type of coverage. You all do a different type of coverage than us. You provide a lot of really nice written recaps and not a lot of nice written stuff. And I should say too, we don't frequently, we do try to hire photographers once in a while. You all frequently get like photogs out there. And so just really cool to have folks doing it slightly different than us, but with the same kind of passion and investment. So love to have you on.
I have to say this, two Sioux Falls City players, I'm pretty sure just did a backwards butt bump to start instead of a chest bump. So I gotta love that.
Is it worth a rewind, Mark?
That's up to you, my man. You're the editor in chief. We were talking.
Let's see.
I'm pretty sure it might have been. I think it's right here. I think it's these two, maybe. They got a whole dance.
That was worth it.
The butt.
was worth it.
Moved a butt. Yeah, glad I caught that. Wow. Okay, we'll have to gift that later. Matt, you'll.
It was kind of like later. It was almost like a little bit of like kid and play. Like there was a lot.
Yeah, they did the kid and play, and then they did the boobing butt. That's amazing. Never seen that.
That was really good.
We talked in the first half for Tim and Ashley. We talked about just like the difference, and even like we said, you've been watching games even longer than us, but like the scale of having a broadcast like this, like that we can do this, and it makes sense. Part of why we do this too is because still not enough teams have full kind of coverage, but this looks so amazing when we're just talking over it. It looks great. We'll talk about how different it is for you guys. Tim, you could go first, and then Ashley, just how different it is, the state of covering summer league soccer right now.
Yeah, it was just still kind of is to an extent a toss up whether you'll get a scoreboard and a clock.
That's true.
And announcers. Those are my three kind of benchmark things for like a good quality stream. But yeah, when I was first watching, it was, park fields, and you basically had to pay extremely close attention to work out who'd scored.
Yeah. I mean, back then, I don't remember really streams barely even being a thing. The only one I remember is there was when teams would play at DePaul is the only one I remember because of the train in the background.
Let's watch this corner kick here as Sioux Falls City sets up.
Yeah, here we go. We got Mo Malone set up to take it again, I believe. The U-Mary center back. Drives it to that far side of the box. Salvo able to get on it.
Nothing, yeah. Still 0-0. But yeah.
Yeah, lots of jumping around contact networks, getting hold of people either at the clubs and quite frequently on the bench to work out what the score was. And that obviously still happens to an extent. But yeah, like you say, not as many streams. So
right.
So, okay. Can you tell me what your team did? And again, this still happens to an extent, but people will report what they did and not what the other team did.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, come on.
Yeah. It's a good, but
some danger. Salvo here on the run.
Open.
Into the box. Nice job by Fisher to close down that angle. That was dangerous as hell.
Yeah, let's watch this corner. But yeah, I want to get your thoughts too, Ashley. But yeah, it's a good to remind ourselves when we complain about the streams we see now and everything. It's like, okay, but remember, every year it does get better. But so we'll see how Salvo sets up.
But it also in some ways makes the excuses less easy to take when you have such a great broadcast like this. So corner for Salvo. Heslin takes it, lofts it to that far side. Campbell Fisher, I believe, got a hand on it. And so, yes, Salvo will have another corner on the far side.
You do almost feel like in a game like this, it's going to have to be some free kick. I mean, you had that goal line save we watched in the first half. That was, intense.
Or just it'll be sort of the first time one of these defenses actually makes a mistake. It feels like they just haven't made any mistakes so far. At least they have not broken.
Mm-hmm.
Corner from that far side. Looks like it's Heslin again. To the far post and out.
Yeah, they're going for that kind of like tight Olympico shot, like you said, Matt. Ashley, talk about you. You also, I mean, when we complain about streams, we are able to go to some games in person. You, for a long time too, were covering all of our local soccer, but from a different, like you were in the Quad Cities, right? Or you were somewhere else, but
yeah.
So talk about how different it is for you, especially you moved up here now, so that's different. But talk about how it is for you.
So, go back almost 10 years when I started doing this, around the time when Minnesota United moved to MLS, which is how I'm able to remember my time frame. You had teams doing a single phone camera on Facebook, if you were lucky.
Yeah.
Now you get streams like this, you get streams like Aurora, where it looks like a professional broadcast, and it's absolutely incredible. Honestly, my biggest current complaint is the lack of stats and the lack of rosters with half these leagues and half these teams. It's every league that has that issue, and that's something that really should be bare minimum rectified. But the streams, and especially trying to do it remotely, as you said, I was living in the Quad Cities for about 6 years, and covering that the whole time, it was a non-option to drive to anywhere because the closest team was an hour and a half away from there.
Yeah.
It is a 400,000 person metro area that does not have a high level amateur team.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's absolutely insane. So trying to do it on a broadcast where it was Lacrosse Aries, who had a single phone on top of a hill pointed at a field, is just a non-option some days.
Yeah.
When, by the way, for the teams that don't, a phone is better than that. A phone is still something.
It is.
So we will tune in. It is, we'll do watch parties for away games. We've done it for like the Gophers and for Salvo in the playoffs last year, at the bar in person, to try to make it an easier way to use the live stream together. But it's part of why we do this, because we try to add value, at least to make it a better thing for people. Talk about we want to. Oh, we got to watch Salvo come in here.
Some danger. Ooh, really nice ball, but nice defense there to get it cleared.
For you, Ashley, we joke about, Matt mentioned it on something we did recently where maybe it was a pregame where, folks will still kind of come up to us sometimes and be like, oh, it's so cool. This is your job, or something. And so that's quite funny. And also, complimentary. Thank you for thinking that. Thank you for thinking we're making enough. I would be making.
I forgot. I'm not allowed to laugh at it anymore. I said during the pregame show.
Very kind compliment.
From now on, we're taking it as a compliment. Oh, nice. Ambitious.
Wow. That was a huge shot. Fully 20 yards out, left-footed shot.
Gagner did have to make that save, too. I think that was online. That was wild. We love the ambition. We're all ambition. So corner for Sioux Falls.
It was a short bounce, like it was right in front of the keeper, so just really tricky to read.
Well, like you mentioned, Mark, I think the sun was probably okay for the keeper, but those sun lines at a time like this too.
Yeah.
So we'll see the corner on the far side. Lofted all the way back post.
Really floated.
That was a chance. So an initial touch, and then it looked like McKenna Lehman with a chance to get on it.
In that corner, by the way, Travis Gallipo takes pictures for Sioux Falls, and I don't know if you he's one of the many photographers who works and works and works. He was sitting on the ground in that corner shot, so we'll see him next time. But speaking of doing the work for passion, which I was asking you, Ashley, so Travis definitely does that. Shout out to Travis in South Dakota. But yeah, I joke because people saying, "Oh, full-time job," but of course it's not. We just do this, for passion, and you put in a lot of hours, and so to say it plainly, what do you get out of doing it? Because you don't get money, really, right? And so, what do you get out of doing this work?
Honestly, for me, it's always been about trying to grow the exposure, especially at this level, and especially the women's game, as much as I can.
Yeah.
MLS is great to cover in terms of being able to utilize that in order to try and push this. And this is really where my passion is. I love absolutely going to these pitches and just being able to do these matches. It's a money losing thing. It really is. We don't really make a ton of money. We have effectively enough money coming in for our stuff in order to effectively cover our site costs.
Yeah.
You guys have a lot. When Matt said they have photographers, they have
very real,
probably the best. Well, I'll say it because I don't know any other place. Even Protagonist is an amazing writing place. There's probably no lower level soccer outlet that has as much good photography as Lights Football, and they have a bunch of sibling sites as well.
Yeah.
But when I look at the recaps, it's sorry to interrupt. I was just it's an incredible resource. So for people who want to see high quality images, but anyway, Ashley, that's an amazing part of what you do.
Well, and just calling that out because we as an outlet, obviously it's no secret, prioritize video because that tends to be the stuff that I've gravitated towards. So I that's my focus is getting game clips, getting player clips, getting the video, but really good writing, really good photography are other parts of that sort of three-legged stool of good game day coverage. And Mark is absolutely right. It's not even close. There's I do not see any other outlet investing in photographers, and we try and hire photographers too. We just had someone come out because I saw her on Twitter and and we paid her to shoot because we have the resources to pay. But that's like, it's very rare for anyone to get anything to shoot, by the way, like let alone the platform. And so just shout out to you guys for bringing so many like photographers into the Bay, and all the writing you all do too.
And that's more been a Tim thing, especially with this year with me moving up here. I've kind of moved from actually doing writing to kind of going behind the scenes and handling the business aspect that, obviously no one else wants to handle. That's what I'm going to college for. So
Matt does that.
Yeah, it's what I'm going to college for. So, managing a business right up my alley.
Yeah.
But Tim's done a fantastic job really taking this over. Of course, I got to give a shout out to Bridget, who was supposed to be here. And Tim's really our WPSL expert.
Yeah.
But Bridget's done a great job over at NSJ, and it's expanded tremendously past what I even thought was going to be possible for this year, especially the photography aspect. And there's, I would love to eventually add audio, like you had mentioned. A phone stream is better than nothing. I would even take an audio only stream over nothing at all. Just do it old school internet radio and just call the match and stream it that way.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a radio guy, like to my bones, and so I've appreciated the Aurora radio this year.
We've used it. We've used it watching streams at the bar just because there isn't a home. So when it first came out, I thought, well, why do you need that? And then actually in Summer League, it's been useful. But also, Tim, I mean, if you grew up in the UK, you had to use football radio because certain games would be blacked out and couldn't be shown.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, absolutely. But pretty much every game on radio, like super local radio, like BBC local radio, or but only like on satellite TV. So you would have to pay for it.
Another chance for people who watch the Welcome to Wrexham, which they do a really good job highlighting the women's team in the Welsh League. But I love that the announcer for Wrexham, who still does their broadcast announcing, he started out doing hospital radio because hospital radio started purely just to announce to the hospitals, and it's during World War II when all the veterans are there, and it stayed a thing. And so it's kind of like the student level, like when Matt was like a AM radio news director for 300 people listening to him. I guess he still kind of does that.
Also, first of all, how dare you? That was a fully professional job. I just made, as much as I make for equal time. So,
thank you for validating it. But Tim, talk about when I do player interviews, like I really like to consume soccer content, and I try to watch interviews, and I try to think of how to ask better questions or how people run a show and stuff. When I write, it's very utilitarian. I kind of recap stats and stuff. I don't do a lot of even recapping a game in detail like you do. What type of content do you consume, or who do you like to read or consume that kind of helps you think about how you write?
That's a good question. I don't really consume that much.
Okay.
I just run off the top of my head, and Ashley can vouch for that. I sort of do that with podcasting. I run off the top of my head rather than.
That's why we're doing a watch along, Tim. So
I've always done that with even interviews. And recapping. I kind of rely on the fact that I sort of know my way around the scene, and so I can remember where someone used to play or what high school they were at, or like some weird overlap, like some coach pops up as an assistant coach for one team when he was head coach for another team.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And that kind of stuff is interesting to me. I find that if you just Google someone's name, you come up with quite a lot of interesting backstories as well. As long as you trust your sources.
Tim, he's saying put in the work. I appreciate that, because it is as long as you actually care and learn and remember. And I mean, so that's the difference, is you guys do that. I mean, you put in the work, you do the research, and you actually care. So it's That's.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I needed a tip, Tim. I was hoping for a tip, but I something secret.
I kind of wish that. Well, we are kind of a bit of a primary source on quite a lot of stuff because we just get out to the get out to the games, and I'll be the only person in the press box. So getting like biographical information, from. I'll be honest, it's been a boon this season. I've been I go to the games in Moorhead for Dakota Fusion because it's my local club. This season I've been literally sitting right next to the streamer. So like I know who scores because I hear him announce it. And if he doesn't know and I don't know, then basically no one in the stadium knows.
Yeah.
See, so he did have a tip. That is it. So that is a tip, Tim. I appreciate.
I guess that is a tip. Yeah.
That is a tip.
Sit right next to the broadcaster.
It is true. I love being by the. You got to listen to the PA. Yeah.
Hey, if someone was sitting in the ELR Gopher Soccer press box, they would learn more than they ever wanted to know about the Gopher Soccer players for
sure. We really appreciate you guys coming, and we can't stress enough how much people should. That was almost a field goal. How much people should connect with Lights Football. They have sibling sites that cover the men's game and cover Minnesota United. Bridget McDowell is one of my good buds, one of my best customers at the bar. They do tons of work and are the editor for Northland Soccer Journal, which is kind of the overarching piece. So I just wanted to stop too by saying or give you space at the end. Ashley, you first, just of how should people engage with what you do? How can people follow the game and your work?
Yeah, so first we are actually going to be launching another site. It's going to be dedicated to pro women's soccer. This is something that Tim has really also been heading since I've kind of been unavailable, packing, moving the last, 3 to 6 months. But you can follow us on our social media, Lights_football. Northland Soccer and Empower Woso are the three. The Empower site will fully launch alongside the Super League season this fall.
Nice.
You can support us over on Patreon. You can just send us donations. We have a merch site that is up and running, so you can always support us through that as well. We are in the process of actually transitioning to a nonprofit as well. Our goal is actually going to be developing female and queer writers as well as other contributors, photographers. If we ever can expand into audio, I would absolutely love that. But of course, these are long-term goals for us.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. How exciting. Tim, how should people engage with your work, or how do you want to promote what you have going on at Lights and everything else?
Well, not much to add to Ashley, except that's obviously lightsfootball.com is Northern Lights. Northern Soccer Journal is just northernsoccer.com.
Yep.
And we don't yet have Empower's. Do we have an Empower address? Yeah.
Not yet. Our lovely IT guy, who is also one of our photographers, he has yet to set that up. I think that'll get set up after the end of the W League season.
They'll get into it. Everyone, I mean, you can find these folks on social, find them. I literally, when I tell you, it's like I'll be trying to prep some written piece. I'm like, I don't know what happened in this game. I can just, like you said, I can't get stats. So I'll be like, where could I look? And I read your stuff, man. I read their stuff to prep. I use it. It helps me, and it's fun for us. They also share our stuff. Thank you guys for that. They always
Sioux Falls is up, baby.
Yeah.
We'll have to rewind that after this so we can watch it again.
Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah.
But
just a nice finish.
Trying to be gratifying, but
and just a huge shout out. I mean, there are not that many places where I personally give money to women's soccer coverage, because sort of like Tim said, we're busy creating it, and this is one group that I 100% give to. So Layman through, and then it's in. Oh, what a finish!
That's a tough one. Keeper's gonna feel bad about that.
What a finish! Oh my gosh! I mean, that's a crazy near post finish, and I believe, I could be wrong, we'll confirm via the team's post. but I believe it was Olschlager. We'll confirm via once the team posts it. But yeah, just huge shout out to Tim, to Ashley, to Bridget, to everyone there. Again, like, we personally spend money to support these folks because they are doing ridiculously cool work. We cannot say enough how much it would be great to have like even more people in this space. Like, us covering women's soccer isn't meant to be some like turfy whatever. It would be sick if there was 4 independent outlets in Minnesota and the Upper Midwest. Like, it's just, we want more coverage is good. And so thank you so much for you two for joining us.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Talk to you guys
thanks
soon.
for having us.
All right. I love it. Oh, I didn't ask Tim who his football team was. Tim. Love to dig into it.
All right, we will confirm the goal scorer here.
Tim, who's your football team?
Manchester United.
All right. Well, I feel for you, but it's been had a couple years. I'm actually hopeful for you. For you personally, this is when I meet people. Nate Pentz, shout out to Nate Pentz, one of our amazing sponsors. Nothing but love to the Podfather. He's a Man City fan, and he single-handedly shapes my view of Man City way over. And you're doing it too, Tim, because lots of love to you. So I'm neutral today on Man United.
Family team.
That's cool.
Like, going back to my granddad. So yeah,
I love it.
Well, then that's on me. Yeah, I'm dealing with Americans picking their squads, and so I get cynical. Yeah. I love that, buddy. Yeah, we'll talk more about Man U. Thanks for staying.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, Tim.
Nice talking to you both.
Yeah, bud.
Corner for Salvo. Nice job by Fisher to grab it.
I mean, that's a tough goal, but it is like it maybe a bit of a keeper, maybe not quite placement, but I think that's just going to far post. I think maybe you imagine she's going to go far post.
Honestly, I just think that was a great shot. I mean,
yeah, that's true too.
So McKenna Lehman hit the ball through, and then it looks like it was Mia Bosch, who's from South Dakota State, originally from or hails from Thunder Bay, Ontario, but plays for South Dakota State.
No, and yeah, you're right. I mean, when you focus too much on if the keeper did or not make an error, it's like focus on what the person did well.
It's just that tight window. I mean, to hit that near post hit is just a really nice shot. And now Sioux Falls in the lead with just over 20 minutes to go here in regulation.
This is honestly, I picture this being like Joe DeMay in a coaching license course. You are at the 2/3 mark. You go up 1-0. How do you tactically finish the game? Like, this is for your UEFA B license, Joe.
Well, also in a game that's been so well balanced, both teams have played so well. In a situation like this, sometimes this is also what spurs Salvo to unlock. And so,
well, they have to go open. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it might just be a thing where it's like both teams are being careful enough, and then, like you said, as soon as a score happens, it's like, well, now it's time. We're going. Like, we have to go and we have to equalize. And there's just so much time left. They don't have to do full havoc. They just have to do sort of the ambitious. Oh, and a chance. Salvo with it. Oh!
That was tricky. Yeah.
Wow. Did not expect to, a quick serve and to go near was really dangerous.
Fisher was really obscured. Yeah. Both offensive and defensive player in front of them.
I love having other people who cover the game on because they focus so much on like getting good photographers is awesome and we support it, but just doesn't end up being our top thing. And then when they both talk to it wanting to do audio, I just loved it so much because it would be like the 5th thing I do. But like you said, folks have loved the stuff that like Aurora does with audio. And
the main thing is doing audio because there's stream but no commentary. I mean, yeah, we could get into that, but I mean that's what we're doing. That's why we do these. But Sioux Falls City happens to have a full-on broadcast.
Yeah, they do, and props to them for that.
And we've given them a lot of love. But yeah, I mean, in games when there's no commentator, I get why teams don't prioritize the commentator. I mean, certainly getting the video 100%. But the video is the number one priority.
Yeah, my hierarchy would be slightly different than Tim's in the sense of like, I would love a score bug and I would love a clock, but like any video existing is like 10 times more important to me than, all the other stuff. But it is, I mean, it's a shout out to all the WPSL teams in the Northern Conference who do such a good job with their broadcasts. Sioux Falls City at the top of that list. Mankato very much at the top of that list. Teams that just really care about giving a good product. And, people are maybe sick of us saying it, but we are going to keep saying it because they've invested the time and effort and resources into it. So.
Yeah, I also say like Rochester United and Salvo for the most part usually has they've had some moments this summer, which comes kind of with facilities and other things, but they generally produce a good stream too, which is really nice. At
times, St. Croix, I think, has had one. It's hit and miss sometimes, but
I think St. Croix is suffering from having 9 summer league. They literally have women in all of them. So UPSL, WPSL, those two, they have men, and then UPSL there's 2 men's teams and then 2 different, so it's like that's why
it's tough.
One of their they're based in Stillwater and play some of their games in St. Paul, which is a full
Lulu Moreno coming on for Olschlager now
back in. So you got to think putting in a fresh forward like Lulu Moreno just to try to keep them under threat, keep them back, keep them busy defending.
Well, and we talk all the time about that sort of early shift in a game after the first 20, 25, 30 minutes where that's where you start to see some separation. The same can be said about the last 20 minutes where you just see the mental focus. Can they keep the mental focus up? Can they keep their discipline? And these teams are both so good. And so it'll be interesting to see who can come out because it might really be some individual brilliance that is the difference towards the end.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to shout out one other. Let's watch this attack. I want to shout out another contributor.
Yep, Heslin throws it down, but Sioux Falls City able to get it.
Yeah, wow. I don't know if I would expect. I would expect either 2 more goals or more or none. I don't know. I don't know because there's been so few true chances.
It's hard to think that a set piece won't eventually unlock just because these teams are too talented.
Yeah. Like you said, if Salvo goes forward too much, having an opening for Sioux Falls to get a second one too. Yeah. I'll give a shout out to Tyler Trent, contributor to WPSL via, I think, Twitter. We connected because he just was following our stuff. So shout out to Tyler. They were choosing in the pregame whether to listen to the actual pregame on the stream or our vibes on StreamYard. So it's like I knew Tyler was in there, but they write for WPSL top bin 90. Let's see Salvo here.
Heslin sending it in, lofted far post.
Big. Oh, that hit the football. That hit the football post.
Oh, I was gonna say it looked like it was off the bar.
It looked high. It looked high, and then it looked low.
I will just tell you, even just on the Equal Time feed, if you just search Equal Time Emily Heslin, there are like 4 free kick goals from that exact spot that she has hit in her career, and that one looked insane. It looked so good. Shout out to Tyler Trent.
Is Trent4 on Twitter, but if you search it, they're making good content on the WPSL as well, so that's fun for us to see.
Well, and just appreciate folks like Tyler and other folks who just are fellow lower league supporters, fellow women's soccer supporters who, we try to be good at amplifying other people's work, and folks like Tyler are always really good at amplifying our work. And so just a shout out for that because, Mark, when he mentioned earlier, people asking if it's your job, the only reason it's so funny other than the financials and stuff and that we are always spending more than we're making is the fact that the growth is so incremental, like it's so just brick by brick that it feels so slow and so small to us. So someone asking that really is a compliment, but it is so funny because it really takes having good supportive folks and, like the WPSL being game to sort of amplify streams like this so more folks will see it and all that stuff matters. We appreciate all of it. And, because we only do it because we care and you all are only watching because you care. So it's just cool.
Yeah. Brothers, not bros. No bros in women's soccer, only brothers. Yeah, it is cool. It's a really inclusive spot. I mean, I feel like Minnesota soccer is in general, but particularly, a lot of we get a lot of positive feedback, which is nice. Here we go, Salvo coming
on the run
into the side of 18.
Ooh, chance, still a chance.
Oh,
wow, they're being disciplined. They're waiting for a good shot.
She could have
Oh,
she could have tried that far post and didn't.
Yeah. Really disciplined. I mean, good composure on the ball to just not rush something. But Sioux Falls City doing a good job to make sure there's not a real window, too. Shout out to folks who make stuff like this happen. Pentz Homes, if you need a realtor in the upper Midwest, they can help you even if you're not in Minnesota. So look at Pentz Homes. I will continually offer that if you are a soccer like parent or player or coach, I will produce a house hunter style show of your house hunt with Pentz Homes.
You have to do it first, man. You have to have an example.
I'm not moving again.
We got to do one first so they know that you can do it.
We need to show the example. And then also shout out to Modist Brewing. So many good options for you. They are right by Target Field and Target Center. So if you're watching the Lynx, who have been crushing it, if you're watching the Twins, if you're going to a show downtown Minneapolis, they have so many cool things. Great merch. Mark always gets compliments for his merch at the bar. But just shout out to them for supporting us. And if you ever see us on a game day, dangerous attack for Salvo again. If you ever see us on a game day, we'll bring Modist for you.
Uh-oh. He did not call that.
Wow.
That
maybe. Let's see.
Definite contact. I guess maybe they got the ball. Someone came up to me. I was wearing this. They said, that looks like a kind of like throwback, like dad hat. And I'm like, You got it.
Here we go. Just to watch it again, a replay here of Kaya in the box.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it's okay.
She didn't quite have possession. She had it. The player definitely put her foot up. It looked like maybe Kaya looked for the foul.
Yeah. I think that's what the official at least was deciding.
But we can't see it all from this distance.
Just a little.
Wow. I would have liked to hear what the Salvo sideline sounded like after that.
Something tells me we'd be able to guess.
Woo. That's tough. That's tough. Yeah.
It's a tough call either way because
honestly could not see. That's the type of thing you see on VAR and their foot is actually right next to them.
Yeah. Honestly, it's as bold to not call that. Probably the easier thing to do is just call it.
Although when you don't call it and then you just sit there waiting and then you're like, I guess I can't call it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't ref.
We don't have the chops to ref. It looks like Olschlager coming back in.
Was ref Kevin we met during the year? He ref WPSL? Shout out to ref.
Sure. Well, shout out to Josh Forsyth, a longtime Equal Time supporter. He refs a ton of games like this.
Glad you're watching, Josh. Good to see you again, buddy.
So we got a free kick for Salvo.
This is gonna this is where for Salvo these 12 minutes are gonna feel like 30. Mm-hmm. Or are gonna feel, or for Salvo they're gonna feel like nothing. For Sioux Falls they're gonna feel like an hour.
Yep.
Unless something changes here.
And just, to remind folks, the way the format works for postseason, as Nicole said very early on, there's so many teams that you do basically have to win the conference. So that the reason this is such a big game is, the winner of the conference is who advances. And so even though there's so many quality teams, this is why games like this matter, and it's why the teams have been playing so hard and so well.
Yeah, to remind folks, I guess we should, because we did this in the first half, but for people who are tuning in later, standings are really tight. It is between these two squads. As of now, they would be tied with Sioux Falls City having one game left to play, so all in hand for them to win the WPSL Northern Conference. Mm-hmm. They would then make it into a playoff with other teams around the upper Midwest. Salvo with another ball in. They're going to get increasingly desperate. But so Sioux Falls City with this win is huge for them. If they tie, they still have a chance by winning next week, but then it's up to goals. And we didn't calculate that number for you guys. So we don't know what would happen in that case, but this would be absolutely putting it in Sioux Falls City's hands and for their first ever trophy, aside from franchise of the year on the franchise side.
Yep. Very exciting. And another chance for Salvo. Oh my gosh, Fisher able to get.
And a reminder, the last game for Salvo or for Sioux Falls City, apologies, on Sunday, is St. Croix Legacy. St. Croix Legacy, nothing to slouch at.
Yeah.
But when these teams have 1 or 2 games left and they're out of playoff contention, what type of game do they put together?
Yeah, you never know.
Shade on the players. They're getting ready for college or for high school season. And so you would give Sioux Falls City a big edge or a solid edge in that game.
Wow, an aggressive slide there from Sioux Falls City player, and they are down. But yeah, you're right. It's just you don't know what the roster makeup might be. Now Salvo into the attack. There's a Sioux Falls player down in the other third. Salvo
roster, even just collective effort. If you, it's just human nature. If you know, but
we're here and we're hearing from great women's soccer champion Rustin Ludke here that Northern Conference, there's always some rotation in the divisions. So like in the Central Division. And so the Northern Conference winner gets to host that first round of the playoffs, which is very, very cool. The regional tournament, excuse me. So for example, even though in the Midwest Conference Great Lakes Division, you have Milwaukee Torrent as, you know, a winner where Minnesota teams have had to go play. Theoretically, the winner of the Northern gets to host if they're able to keep winning, which is really cool.
Yeah, thank you for that, Rustin. And yeah, that it is a cool opportunity for us to be close. Although, you're gonna add in some 7-hour drives to Sioux Falls. You're gonna do this to me, Sioux Falls. We'll see.
Sure.
Salvo also would be much closer. That's right up in Roseville. Went to a game there earlier this year. Wonderful place to watch their games at the Northwestern College. They have a brand new all sport complex. Honestly, one of the best places you can catch a soccer game in Minnesota. Really fun.
Yeah, it looked like Morgan Rhodes may be coming on there for Sioux Falls City. A little bit of just waiting for that final player. We mentioned Rustin Ludke by name. Rustin is one of the folks who have made Mankato United WPSL so successful there in the Northern Conference. You know, probably, Sioux Falls City, the only challenger to them in terms of a WPSL broadcast quality, game day quality in the upper Midwest. 2 of the clubs
and community work, sponsors,
everything with it. Just 2 of the clubs that do it the absolute best. So shout out. Love that Rustin's watching too. Look at this guy just getting some soccer in. I love it.
Friday night. Maybe he's going to karaoke after too, just like us.
Yeah, he for sure is. Dangerous ball from Sioux Falls, but not quite through. Yeah, so I mentioned the Torrent are well clear in the standings in the Midwest Great Lakes Division. We mentioned by the time you advance, a Northern Conference team may play someone out like the Colorado Rapids women in the past. So just as soon as you advance, it gets very, very regional, borderline national. So it'll be fun to see who the Northern Conference team is able to test themselves against. Free kick for Sioux Falls.
For people wanting to follow the playoff chase too, just so folks know, we'll get a piece up next week on Equal Time about how to consume whatever Summer League info we do have. I think we should be pretty set on this. W League, the other teams, by the way, just to shout out the other clubs who make up the Northern Conference here in WPSL, Salvo, Sioux Falls City, obviously we're watching both. Thunder currently in 3rd place, St. Croix Legacy, good step up for them in their kind of recent time in WPSL. Mankato United in 5th, Rochester United, Maplebrook Fury, Joy Athletic Club, Dakota Fusion, and Manitou FC. So one almost making 2 for Sioux Falls, but a league that has a lot of continuity, a lot of teams that stay into it, and so it is a benefit to the soccer community having teams and clubs and a league that stays around and can kind of build these storylines, because it's like the fact that we know Salvo and Minnesota Thunder are powerhouse in the area, and we know Sioux Falls City is challenging them and making it potentially their first kind of knock on that door to knock off those 2 typical contenders. Also, shout out Mankato. Sometimes we forget they also, I think, got a tie atop the conference a few years ago, and so I leave them out in terms of champion sometimes. Mankato, you are not forgotten.
Well, Mankato's about to get when Tim and Ashley mentioned their Super League coverage and the pro coverage. Props to Mankato United star and just all around Mankato star Jenny Vetter, who's recently gone pro to play out in Spokane, and so her pro season will start in August. We'll be covering them in depth, but really, really cool for a program like Mankato where she played her whole youth career. Ooh, and a chance there. But she played her whole youth career, played for Mankato State in the NSIC, went and did well in Portugal, and now comes home and plays domestically in the U.S. Just an unbelievably cool story, and great that the WPSL and Mankato United are going to be able to point to those roots.
She joins a nice little club of all the players who've been in this league and then played pro, because that's one of the things, rightfully so, WPSL highlights the most, that they're of course the biggest and longest running, but also then everyone you can think of who's made a difference sometime played with us in WPSL. And also I will say to the Spokane Zephyr, welcome to the edge. Hashtag welcome to the edge. I love it. That's one of the I want a little backstory, and I haven't Googled it yet, but to the Zephyr, I'm with you. Let's see. Sioux Falls City, yeah, they're putting their work into getting the ball forward. They're just holding it up.
Wow.
Full corner holding at 85 minutes. Though,
that's some gamesmanship, baby.
But, I mean, this is the thing from a team. You can imagine the motivation. Like, motivation is good. Salvo's had a lot of winning seasons. These other players have won, at their youth level. And so when you have a team like Sioux Falls City who so close, like we said, like points away to getting to play in the national tournament, they want to. Yeah. And that you're seeing, I mean, the effort, they're closing the game out really strong so far.
Well, and just, this isn't to denigrate like any other games or any other stuff that we've covered. This has been really good run of play, like great attacking build-up, great passing, really good defending. The goal we saw was a really nice setup and a quality finish. We've seen other chances that have been well saved. And so I would have never guessed it would have been this good. I mean, this is like a very high quality game. And I think it is, like you said, Mark, because this essentially is a playoff game to get them into the playoffs. And both teams really, really came to play. And now Salvo will have a chance with a free kick from about 25 yards out, or maybe a little bit more with the angle.
That's a good spot. Earned someone a yellow, it looks like. Or he just pulled it out. Yeah, can't quite see.
A few minutes to go here. Salvo with that free kick. The two super, super veteran players, Emily Heslin, number 10, and number 8, Molly Fiedler, standing over it.
You're aging them with the double super. You don't got the...
I think there are players on these teams who are literally in high school. So
hey, shout out to the vets. Got those tendon or ligament. I don't know. She got those straps on the knees.
Emily Heslin to take it.
Oh,
far post. Just wide. Matt, I think Fisher got on it.
For people who watch Equal Time, we needed Matt's phone on the baseline to see if that was on frame or not, because it was a full save. I mean, credit to, you can't take a chance if you're Campbell Fisher to save that.
Yep.
But I wonder if it was going in, because God, that was she had hit the football goal post before. Here we'll see a second attempt.
Corner kick, and I'm assuming it's Heslin again.
Right footer.
Far post gets
Sioux Falls gets a head on it. Good clear.
That clearance, I believe, was Rhodes, who had come on, who plays at Wayne State. Is originally from Omaha.
Staying local.
Wayne State, one of the sort of upper Midwest or Midwest programs that Minnesota teams and other colleges are sort of seen frequently.
Yep, NSIC.
A lot of good NSIC Division II talent on the Sioux Falls City team in particular.
The Northern Conference is an absolute landing space for all of the talent in the Northern Sun. The primary D2 conference in the upper Midwest. Yeah, really.
Augustana, which is based in Sioux Falls. We got Minot State, obviously, out in Minot. Mary out in Bismarck. All three represented here for the Sioux Falls team, as well as Mankato State. I mean, multiples. Just
I'm guessing there must be. I wonder. I'll have to look. I mean, I would guess, and it's tough because not every team does full roster posting, but I would venture to say maybe every team has it's a fun mix and I think beneficial mix of players that play on these squads. People get a lot out of it, like getting to see both like the D1 players playing with younger players and lower level college players and getting perspective and benefiting from the mix of skill and style.
Yeah, the NSIC, if folks haven't followed a D2 women's soccer program near them, the NSIC is a perfect excuse to do that. It's just a good NSIC player, a good D2 player can really, really play soccer. I mean, it is a fun conference to follow.
Salvo, Heslin again.
Yep, in stoppage time. Emily Heslin over it for Salvo. Far post again.
I think Campbell Fisher touched that.
I think so too.
Wow. So it is. I don't know if Sioux Falls seem to be doing this some too, but wow, they are really targeting that far post to make Fisher make a decision, and I think try to either sneak a donkey ball in or get a header across. It's sort
of a if it's on frame, it's on frame. If there's a runner, there's a runner. Either way, we're going to force the issue. And now Heslin with another one, this time from the other side. So it's driven towards the PK near post.
You'd probably have to name Fisher the player of the game at this point.
Driven in. Oh! Salvo attacker
my.
gets a touch, but just not quite enough.
Nothing. That is one of the most frustrating things in soccer.
Right at the torso.
There's nothing you can. That's when people do really weird headers or really weird karate kicks, and that was way too high for you. It came right.
Yeah, came right at like your tummy.
Oh, frustrating! Wow.
I mean, you might be right. In a game like this, at least 2, maybe 3 or 4 very, very legitimate big saves by Campbell Fisher.
Yeah.
And on top of that, if you wanted to give it to a group, for Sioux Falls to hold Salvo scoreless, I mean,
honestly,
I mean, give me a break. I mean, it's just absolutely nuts.
Mm-hmm. I mean, shout out to Joy Athletic for getting the goal on them too. There's the only 2 teams, the Goats.
Yeah.
We see you, Joy Athletic.
Shout out, Joy.
This is, and by the way, we aren't the only ones hyping at the scale, and the league is the only one. Sioux Falls City said this is the biggest game they've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
And so I could only imagine what we see a last chance.
Ooh, nice move down the wing. Great team defending there to get there and able to get it off the Salvo player, so it's a goal kick.
Like, what is, I mean, I can only imagine how nervous Emily Thomas, Joel Caskigan, who does social for them. Joel, you must be shaking right now. And I don't know how far they're through the 4. They're through at least maybe 2. I don't know.
I would guess,
How many more chances?
This is really, really high pressure.
See, now they can actually play it up.
Wow, and look at that runner. Look at that runner. Look at the runner. Oh, she had her on the left.
I don't know if she saw her.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, they could have had it.
Oh, Salvo on it.
It went out.
Wow. That could be it.
Oh.
That could be it.
Do you want to turn the volume on that? Well, it's too much. You could turn the
Tyree Zacher back on there. Well, I don't know if it'll come through.
Let's see.
I'm hearing it.
Another throw for City as the throw-in header goes right back from whence it came. About a minute left of stoppage time here at Bob Young Field. Salvo has to throw the kitchen sink at this now. Tempest's clearance falls to Harper. Kaya Harper, the layoff to her sister Mercedes from the top of the box. Fisher able to knock it down and eventually dive.
I don't know if that was on frame, was it? Maybe.
That might be.
We will see if that was the last best chance for Salvo. The Harpers combining.
Will she get a yellow on this? No.
Fisher to pump this long.
I wonder if.
I'm just trying to calm down my heart rate right now.
This is Rhodes now trying to win it. Wildman back towards midfield. Heslin. They have to hurry. Fuji able to win it now. Lehman safely back to Malone.
I like that decision.
Right back at Gagne as the clock continues to run.
All right. It's winding down.
Seconds away from the full-time whistle. Zacher. Wildman descended forward. Tempest is there. Fiedler. Closed down again by Van Metren.
Wow. No, you're
Moreno.
Way off.
Overberg nearly able to win it. It comes to Harmon.
Wow, this is
She can't get it forward, though. Closed down again. Ball on the deck for Harper to chase.
Watch
One
backside
last chance
and
for
top.
Salvo.
Numbers. We've got 2 open on the top of the box.
Kaya Harper driving in. The left-footed shot blocked by Storr. Still they come. Catherine Jones double teamed.
That might be the stop.
Blow your whistle, Wubbin.
Any second now. Another chance for Salvo.
Everybody.
Sadie Harper can't clear it. Off the foot of Tempest. Will they have another corner? Yes, another corner for Salvo.
You're killing me.
We're in the 5th minute of stoppage time. One more chance for Salvo to draw level.
They must be talking.
Remember,
to the
a draw for City still enough as long as they win Sunday.
They must be talking to the ref, man.
It'll be Heslin to whip this in. Gagne is up from the back. Everyone in the box
Keep her up.
for Salvo SC. Last kick of the match. And it goes
Nice.
off the uprights and out of play.
What a way to go, dude.
And you would expect that will be the end of the action.
That's so.
Just go big.
Yeah, turn it.
Fisher to boot this forward. Fans on their feet.
Game.
And that will do it.
Yes!
Sioux Falls City remains unbeaten and untied here in the WPSL in 20.
Wow. How many times we saw them take the corner and that's how they were taking it. Like if I was being like a cynical pundit, I'd be like, well, they kept taking corners close to the post and the last one went over. But
yeah,
what a brutal way. They were fighting.
Well, and just, I mean, all credit to Salvo for playing a really good game, but you have to say, like, tight game, unbelievably well played game. But to come away, like, Sioux Falls earned the win, like cleanly earned the win. They are in pole position to claim the Northern Conference Championship if they finish their business in the next few days. Just huge props on a crazy game.
Playoff information to come following the wrap-up of this weekend. The Sioux Falls City game is, like we said, St. Croix. But they are in pole position. They need to get a point or have some help. So that will be all to play for. And then the playoffs will kick off June 13th, 14th, July 3rd. What month are we in? July 13th, 14th. And yeah, lots more to come from the WPSL Northern Conference. Thank you everybody for watching.
Thanks so much.
Let's do it.